What's up, guys? This is JR with JR Pool Plastering and Texas Gunite. Today we're going to learn about pools, the plaster, the tile, the coping, gunite, excavation, rebar. So much to know, so little time, but that's what I'm here for, guys. If you have a swimming pool and you live in the greater Houston area, or you're thinking about remodeling your swimming pool, there's three really important variables that you need to take into consideration when you're going down the path of remodeling your pool. So number one, budget. So are you gonna wanna replaster your pool? Are you gonna wanna retile, recoping? Those are important things to take into consideration when you're looking at your budgetary numbers. Or are you gonna be doing structural additions or demolitions, or maybe additions to your deck? All those variables drastically affect what your budgetary number should be in your mind when you're going in to remodel your swimming pool. Here at JR Pool Plastering and Texas Gunite, we wanna make sure that we take what your dream outcome is into consideration every step of the way. And number two, what's your dream outcome? Once again, that's what's most important to us here at JR Pool Plastering Texas Gunite. So before we schedule a remodel consultant to go out to your home and to meet yourself, your family, and for you to introduce them into your backyard, look on Pinterest, look on YouTube, or maybe visualize an awesome vacation you had in the Bahamas or in the Maldives or in Cancun where you just love the swimming pool or features the swimming pool had, so that you can sit down with one of our remodel consultants and they can walk you through the process on how they can make that come to life for you. Number three, who's going to be your pool remodel contractor? This is, in my opinion, the most important part to take into consideration. Questions why? We never promise that the process is gonna be perfect. It's construction. Things can and will go wrong sometimes, or there's gonna be things that are unforeseen that we just never took into consideration because we don't know maybe what's underneath literally the surface. And that's the one thing I can promise you is here at JR Pool Plastering Texas Gunite, we take ownership. Like I said, I can't promise you a perfect process because it's construction and every swimming pool and every backyard is different. But the one thing I can promise you is that the phones will always be answered. Someone will always go on site if need be. And if something needs to be addressed and it falls on us, we pay it out of pocket and we make sure that everything is done correctly and to 100% for our customer. Because at the end of the day, we don't exist without the opportunities that you create for us to walk into your backyard and help create your dream oasis for you and your family and friends to enjoy for many years to come. And hopefully in another 7 or 10 years or 15 years when you're ready to remodel it again, you call JR Pool Plastering Texas Gunite and we'll make sure that we take care of you every step of the way. So when it comes to remodeling your swimming pool, what are the most common things that homeowners do to the swimming pool during the remodel? First is replaster. Right here, I have a pebble plaster finish. This is what would be on the interior surface of your pool. So we would come in, prep the existing surface, and then we would apply the new layer on top of it. So replaster's one of the most common scopes of work. The other is retile. So this is a 6x6 porcelain tile. So the pool water line, any elevated areas that already have tile and maybe you want some new veneering, we can go back with a new tile. It could be porcelain, or there's also some glass options or some natural stone options that exist. And third, but certainly not least, is recoping. So this is a piece of travertine coping. This is a 3cm eased edge coping piece. And the coping is basically the material that's on the top outer edge of your pool or spa. So replaster, retile, and recoping are the three most common scopes of work when it comes to remodeling your pool. Now, one important thing to take into consideration, there is a order of magnitude on how these need to take place, because doing one without the other could sometimes cause issues or compromise one of these specific parts of your pool. If you're going to replaster your pool this year, but you're like, hey, I'm thinking about retiling my pool in the years to come, I would strongly advise for you to possibly wait or find some other options that make sense for you to invest into your backyard at this current time. Because if you replaster your pool and then a year later you're having to drain the water, chip out the old tile, and then fill it back up, during that process, your new pretty plaster may be damaged to install your new tile. So if you're gonna replaster, it'd be the perfect time to retile, not replaster and then retile years or months or however much time after the fact. They need to happen in unison. The same thing goes for recoping. If you told me, hey, Jose, we only want to recoping our pool, but we don't want to retile, replaster. Problem with doing that is when you remove the coping, 9 times out of 10, the old tile falls off and then you have to retile. And then once that happens, there's a potential for your existing plaster to be damaged, and then it'd have to be replastered. So usually it's if you're gonna replaster, the opportunity is there for you to retile and to recoping. So replaster, one of the most common things, if not the first thing that a customer thinks about when remodeling their swimming pool, is replastering their swimming pool. So what I have in front of me today, these are all Pebble products, but Pebble plaster is one of the most common, if not the most common type of plaster that new pools get installed or that new pools have installed in them, but also what's used when remodeling swimming pools. Once again, these are Pebble products as well. The only difference is that these two that I just picked up here, they have glass bead additive to them, and these are just basically aggregate, no glass bead. Most common product used, reason being is the maintenance, durability, lifespan. They're the longest lasting, they look the best, and they're the easiest to maintain. So when replastering your swimming pool, this is gonna be one of the biggest parts that you're gonna take into consideration. It's what you walk on, it's what you sit on, it's what your friends, your family walk on and sit on, it's what your kiddos walk on and sit on. So this is like, I would say, the heart of the house when it comes to remodeling your swimming pool and making selections for the specific scopes of work. So when it comes to choosing your pool plaster product, there's so many variables you need to take into consideration. And it's one of the things we pride ourselves the most on here at JR Pool Plastering in Texas, Gunite. And what are those variables? Well, what kind of texture would you like to feel on your feet and your bottom? You know, because you sit around in a pool, you swim in a pool, you play volleyball in the pool, which leads me to variable number 2. What's the pool gonna be used for? Are you gonna be playing volleyball? Are you gonna be hanging around, lounging around with your friends? Do you have kids? Do you have puppies? You know, those are all important questions. The other thing is, does your pool get direct sunlight or not? Why does that matter, Jose? Because these darker finishes, like this one here, will make the water a lot warmer, especially if you're exposed to sunlight. A lighter finish will keep the water cooler. Some people don't think about that. They just think about the aesthetic. Yes, the aesthetic's important, which is another variable, but water temperature is also very important. Imagine mowing the grass and you're like, man, I want to jump in my pool. It's freaking hot outside. And you jump into a pool with this Signature Matrix black pebble, you're gonna feel like you're jumping into a warm soup, which, believe me guys, it's not the best thing. So water temperature is important, depth perception important. If you have kiddos, okay, how deep is it there? These darker finishes, it's hard to perceive the depth. Important variable. Other thing, lifespan. You know, is this your forever home? Is it an investment property? Also really important question to ask yourself. If it's just a rental property, maybe you just want to go with a standard white pebble option, or maybe just, you know, another more cost-effective option so that you have a bigger return on your investment. But if this is your forever home, go all out. Get something you're gonna enjoy for the years to come, and that's gonna last as long as you plan on being in this home. But yeah, those are some really big key points that we pride ourselves on here again at JR Pool Plastering in Texas, Gunite. Our remodel consultants will walk you through the entire process when you're making this selection, because we know with an investment like a swimming pool remodel, even if you're just replastering your pool, it's not as easy as just changing your shirt and buying a new one. This is something that's forever, and we want to make sure that you're in love with it, that your family's in love with it, and that we're able to provide countless years or countless memories and years of enjoyment for you, your family, and your friends, and for all the entertainment purposes you use your swimming pool for. Catch me on the next one, guys. How long does a swimming pool remodel take? Well, let's find out. I'll walk you through the steps. Days number 1 through number 3, typically on a standard size pool, is gonna be your prep process. What takes place here? Pool gets drained, we create weep holes, we prep interior surface. Now, this is gonna be contingent on whether or not you're gonna retile and recoping. Are you gonna replace those items? We also remove the tiling coping in this. So this is for a standard size pool. It's 1 to 3 days of preparation process. Like I said, it depends on what we're doing next. If we're gonna retile the pool, day 4 through 5 is tile and coping install. Perfect. Once that's done, if that's something you decide to do to your swimming pool, we have plaster day. So days 6 through 7 is plaster install. Now, why do I put 2 days on there? Depending on the type of plaster you decide to go with is gonna dictate whether it's 1 day of installation or 2 days. Like your regular white Marsite or Ultima plasters is 1 day. But if you go with a pebble, quartz, or a polished finished, why is it 2-day? On your pebble and quartz plaster, it's 1-day application. Second day, we do a light acid wash to expose the aggregate. On your polished finishes, it's 1-day installation. And then the second day we go out and we hand polish the interior surface to make sure it looks just like the sample that you were shown in your consult. So either 1-day installation or 2-day installation. So after white marcite or Ultima plaster is installed, pool will start filling. Pebble, quartz polished, 1-day installation. Second day, we finalize with the prep work, whether it's an acid wash or a polish, and then the water begins to fill. Now, after that takes place, this is the construction aspect, but there is a big task, right here, big task, left to be completed. And what is that? It's just as important as replastering your swimming pool. It's something called a startup. Now, what's a startup? The startup is the balancing of pool water whenever a swimming pool is replastered or a new swimming pool gets new plaster installed into its interior surface. Why is this so important? It's super important because this ensures that the beautiful, amazing plaster of your dreams lasts as long as it should, that it looks the way that it's supposed to, that it feels the way that it's supposed to, and that you and your family get to enjoy for many years to come. I have seen personally where this step is missed, where the customer is not educated on a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 plaster job is ruined within the first week or two. So when getting your swimming pool remodeled, this is usually how long it's gonna take. Don't forget this last step. It's just as important as the installation of the plaster. Remember, it's called startup or initial chemical startup. And this process takes, the initial curing period for plaster is 28 days. I've seen a lot of companies, they'll do the first 14 days, they'll do the initial chemical balancing and then they hand it over to the customer. There's nothing wrong with that. The customer just needs to be educated on how to proceed for the following 2 weeks, or some companies take it all the way through. So choosing the right contractor, these are the 3 biggest points. Number 1, who is actually doing the work? What do I mean by that? Is a contractor subbing the work out? Are they doing it with in-house crews? Why is this important? When it comes to doing a remodel, remember, we're stepping into your sanctuary already that's complete. We're going into your backyard that you and your family already enjoy. So time is of the essence. When JR Pool Plastering Texas Gunite goes out to the job site, every single person that's in your backyard is a W-2 employee. We have direct contact with who's actually doing the work. We're doing it. So we get in, we do what we have to do, and we get out so you and your family can enjoy the final results and also enjoy your backyard like you were prior to us invading your backyard. Another reason this is super important is liability. I know all of my team members are covered by general liability workers' compensation because you don't want someone that didn't invest into the right business precautionary measures to ensure that their consumer, their customer, was taken care of while this work was taking place, in conjunction with the members that are outside there that are part of our team or someone else's team. So who's actually doing the work? Great question to ask your potential pool remodeling contractor. Number 2, years in business, reliability. How long has this individual person been doing what it is that they're saying they do? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? What is it? You know, personally for us at JR Pool Plastering Texas Gunite, I am 3rd generation in my family's business. We have been here for over 43 years. So we pride ourselves in that. We want to make sure every backyard we touch, we leave an everlasting stamp on, and you call us back within the next 10 or 15 years. And by that point, we'll be in the business over 50 years. We'd love to take care of you. Number 3, final. And the reason this is final, but it's also very important, is online presence. But it's very important because this day and age, everything's out on the internet. Everybody's got social media platforms. But why is that important with the right contractor? Because it usually means that they have nothing to hide. They have customers with testimonials and they're willing to show you an unbiased opinion online, or even open themselves up to an unbiased opinion on whether they did a good job or not. Are there Google reviews? Do they even have a Google My Business? An important question to ask yourself when picking the right contractor for you for your swimming pool remodel project. Another thing with the online presence, you cannot delete Google reviews. Those are irreversible. Okay, so remember, a company that has a solid amount of Google reviews and a good Google review rating, that has been built up over the years with consistency and dedication and hard work and just making sure they keep the customer first and they do what's right by the customer. Keep that in mind, guys. What is possible when it comes to remodeling, not my swimming pool, but your swimming pool? So we've kind of gone over a few things in past videos and I'm gonna retouch on those, but I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more. And the reason this is important for me is because this is where I really get to provide you the opportunity to tell me what your dream outcome is for your backyard and your existing swimming pool, so that you can create everlasting memories, not only for yourself, but with your family, with your friends, your loved ones. So let's get into it. So the most common things when it comes to remodeling your swimming pool, there's replastering, of course, which is the interior surface of your pool. You can retile, you can recoping, which these are the most common. Now, the fun ones. The most invigorating or impactful things that we can do to backyards when we're remodeling a swimming pool usually have something to do with structural addition. So what can these structural additions or demolitions be? Well, one of our popular options here that we give our potential prospects and customers are adding a hot tub. We know that a lot of the times when new pools are constructed, sometimes spas aren't built in with the pool. So whether you were the one that got the pool installed yourself and you just weren't really filling a spa at the moment, or maybe you purchased a home whose pool, or that the pool doesn't have a spa, and now you're like, man, I'd love to have a spa. For multiple reasons. Why? Maybe you hurt your back, maybe you just like to hang out with the missus, maybe you just like to chill, maybe you're an athlete. So maybe you're an athlete, you need the therapeutic jacuzzi feel, the warm, and maybe you have a cold plunge, you go from hot to cold. I don't know. Adding a spa, something we can do. Basically, it's like building a baby pool. So that's always cool to see. Imagine not having a spa and now you have one. So that's one of the cool structural additions we can provide. Now, this sounds counterintuitive, but we do this as well because sometimes a consumer may want a sleeker look to their pool. We can demo a spa. Now, another structural addition is a water feature addition. So a lot of newer pools have raised walls, kind of a sleek raised area, have shear descents or scuppers, so you get the nice sound effect of water. Completely changes the swimming pool's look, feel, and sound. Imagine going back there, you're listening to the water, kind of reminds you of that vacation you took to Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Cancun, listening to the waterfall, sitting outside in nature, kind of helps you drown out literally all the noise that you just came from at a busy day of work, or maybe it's just been a stressful week, or maybe you want to reward yourself, you hang out in your own little private oasis. This can really tie all that in together. And just like with the spa edition, we can also remove a water feature too if you wanted maybe more visibility of your backyard, or maybe it's just outdated and you just need a revamp. The other thing is adding a tanning ledge or sun shelf. Basically what this is a structure inside the swimming pool that we can add. You can put a ledge lounger on it or lounge chairs. You can sit down, basically it's a tanning ledge. Or if you have kids and your current pool doesn't have a tanning ledge and you want kind of like a little play area for them, there's like about 6 inches of water that sits there. It's about 9 inches from the top of the pool beam down to the tanning ledge. Put a few bubblers on it. It's a great addition to any pool that doesn't have one. So we can also do that, is add a tanning ledge. Last but not least, another popular one is raising pool floor. Why is that so popular? Well, in the 80s, in the 90s, and early 2000s, deep swimming pools, which a 7, 8, 9 foot pool was really popular. Some of the backyards here in Houston, they're kind of tight. So you have a really steep drop off from the shallow end to the deep end. So we get a lot of customers to say, hey, Jose, you know what? I have young kids, or, you know, we just purchased a home. We want more of a lounge or sports pool. Can you make it shallower? Of course we can. We'd come in, add to the existing structure, elevate the plumbing, and we can make the pool shallower so that there's more space for you to enjoy, or your friends or your family to enjoy, or to have a safer environment for the kiddos when they're in the backyard. So raising the pool floor is also a very, very popular option. Now, the last few things here. Of course, aside from the pool directly, we can completely change the backyard by doing decking work. So with the decking work, we can demo, we can add, we can change the materials that are on top of the decking. The options are endless. Also a big part of what we do that completely changes the look of your backyard. But this is pretty much like a good synopsis and big picture overview of what the possibilities can be for your swimming pool and how we can change them, how we can completely change the way that it looks and really capture what your vision is for your backyard with these swimming pool remodel changes. Alrighty guys, so we have this project here. So what we have to show you here today is a complete swimming pool remodel. We went ahead and demoed the existing raised beam, existing raised decking area, and we redid all the tile, the coping, the plaster, and we built this extravagant, modern, sleek raised water feature. So the inspiration that the customer had here when we're looking at this project, they wanted something a little bit more contemporary, something a little fresher. So we went ahead and lightened up the colors. We went with some grays, some whites, and we also wanted to open up the backyard. So we demoed the raised beam that was there and we built a new one with a completely new and completely different water feature. We eliminated the raised decking area as well, which also made the backyard feel larger, which turned out absolutely stunning. It was probably one of the most complicated, or like what would be considered a complicated remodel when it comes to, or not complicated, be invasive, right? We had structural additions, we had structural demolitions, we had all the aesthetic redone, and basically the swimming pool ended up being just like a brand new work of art. When we were out there taking a look at this pool, looking at final shots, the customer was absolutely bedazzled by it. Absolutely stunned by the final result. On this swimming pool remodel, basically what we did, we eliminated this raised decking area and we went ahead and took 6 inches off the raised beam and we removed this fire bowl and this water bowl. That was the structural demolition and also additions. As far as the aesthetic goes, all the decking was removed, the tile, the coping, and obviously the plaster was redone. Here's another shot of it. This is the elevated decking area. Let's zoom in here a tad bit. Boop, 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 boop. Elevated decking area. We chopped this bad boy down. We removed this here, these fire bowls, water bowls, we did away with them. Elevated decking, boom, vámonos muchachos. And then we took out the tile, the coping, plaster, redid it. Now here are some shots of this bad boy during the process. So it's the raised floor area, we demoed the deck, the coping, the tile, pool's getting prepped for plaster. The elevated decking area that was all completely demoed off. So right here, we got the waterline tile installed, the raised beam facing, got this pretty coping here, the spa spillway tile, raised spa facing, raised wall, all that jazz. Beautiful. Just admire it. Just look at it. Touch it. Dang, that's intense.